Hi, I'm BoonanaJ, and this is Team Boonana. Now, as has been requested by many excitable hordes, that is my viewers, we're going to have a look today at taking the 2DS apart. So what I'm going to do for you is we're going to have a step-by-step look at disassembling the 2DS, and I may even break this up into several videos because later on we're going to have a sort of a bit more in detail look at the connectors. And when we do, it's going to get a bit tricky for some people, so we're just going to slow it right down, take it at a steady pace. So anyway, enough going on, let's get to it. So what you'll need is a 2DS, and the main device that you'll need is a screwdriver. Now, I like to use sort of professional electronic servicing tools. What I'm holding here is a 3mm head posi drive screwdriver, crosshead for those in lay terms, but any small screwdriver will do, as long as when you put it into the screws you make sure that you've got a good, it doesn't jiggle around in there, you've got a good sort of positive grip, because any play in there, when you start unwinding the screws, all that's going to happen is when you twist the screwdriver is going to have too much free room to move around in there, and when you do, you may end up gouging the faces off of the little grooves inside the posi head screw head. So you don't want to do that. Anyway, one thing that I have found actually is in the white DS you've got silver screws, and those screws are actually better quality than the screws that they've used in the black version. So anyway, right, this here is the battery door, so that's the first thing we're going to take off. So you take the screwdriver, just place it in there, put the screwdriver down, and there's a little area at the top here. You'll just be able to put your finger in there and the door comes off like so. And remember, as you're doing this, put everything down in a sensible place. As you can see here, I've got an anti-static mat. If you've got the luxury of having one of these, obviously you connect it to earth, not a banana, and yeah, just make sure you've got everything organized so you know where it is. Next step, obviously, take the battery out, put that down somewhere safe. And then you want to take out the memory card, do the same for that, and whatever game you've got in, Pokemon Y in this one. Right, so that's that step done. Now you've got 10 screws, that's what I count here. The screws are located here, 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 and here. There's one here, there, and there. So all we're going to do now is proceed to take them out. Now, just be careful as you're taking them out, maybe even lay them down on the mat in the order that you've taken them out. So you've got like a rough shape of where these are laid out, so you know where they go back. But if you don't worry too much, because these screws on this back, they're all the same length, all the same type, so you can't really get them mixed up. So if you want to put them in a little pile, do that, but I usually, when I first open something up, I like to keep it all organized. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and take these screws out, and we might speed this up because it's not going to be particularly interesting. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a little pile of screws just here on the mat, and we're ready to take the back off now we've taken all the screws out. So be careful when you're taking this off, because these side bits, they're loose. Yeah, well, actually I'm pointing to the top bit's screwed down, but these side bits are loose, and the shoulder buttons could pop out, so just be careful when you're taking this off. So we're just gonna gently lift this up, and voila. Right, now be careful, because as you can see under here, I'll try and angle it round a bit. What we've got here is a ribbon cable, and this ribbon cable is for the stereo camera that's on the back, you know, the double camera that's on the back. Now we're going to want to go ahead and remove this, so we've got to approach this carefully because this ribbon cable could rip, you know. But before we do that, so we're not, you know, wrestling around with everything, what we're going to do is just take these little side bits off. So we're going to take this off, and this will have the button in, and I'll just show you. This is a volume button. There you go. There's a volume button. So we'll place that down carefully, and we're going to do the same for the other side. Right. It's a bit awkward doing this on camera, I must say. But I really do hope it benefits you guys. So what you're going to need for this, preferably a small fine plastic removal tool, but I'm doing this in what little time I have at the moment, so today we're going to be using a small screwdriver, and to be honest, as long as you're careful enough, a small thin flathead screwdriver will be okay for this. Now I'm not sure if you can quite see, but what you have is you've got the white connector here, and that's connecting onto the ribbon cable. Now just with the shoulder buttons pointing away again, like in one of my other videos, just to the right hand side of this little white button here, you've got a black strip. Now this little black strip flips upwards and to the left, okay? And to get it to do this, you need to, I must state very carefully, insert the screwdriver underneath and just flip it upwards. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fingernails for this, because I'm not happy with using the metal screwdriver. Okay, so that's it done, it's flipped upwards. And all you do now, let's try and get hold of this, there we go, is all I'm doing is gently holding the ribbon cable. Try and get some better light on that for you, and as you can see, it's that loose, it's come open, and it's taken the clamping off of the end of the cable, and it's that loose that it literally will just drop out. So as you can see, we've got the back off, and the ribbon cable's intact, and everybody's happy, yay! So we're going to put that down carefully, obviously, and okay, so that was the postie. I just had to dash off there because apparently I'm getting deliveries. Right, so sorry about that. Right, where are we? Okay, so you've got the 2DS, and quick recap, all we've done is, you know, we've taken the back off, taken the ribbon cable off, and now what you want to do is you want to take off the shoulder buttons. Now there's a little spring in here, but if you just grab hold of it and just lift it upwards, it should pop off like that. You know, as you can see just there, there's a little spring. We're going to put these down somewhere safe. Same again for the other side, comes off, and what you're left with is that. Now you've got several screws on this, but I think the first thing we're going to do is let's take a look at the analog stick, because this comes out in one nice little unit. So we're going to take a look at that. So before anything, before you take these two screws out, there's a little connector just here. Now this little connector is a little bit different. Let's see if we can see it. Right, we're going to put it in the standard configuration, shoulder buttons away from your body. Now what you're looking at is where this little ribbon cable comes round, you've got like a little grey connector. Now this one works a little bit different to the one we've just looked at here, which was for the camera. This one here, the grey one, you put the screwdriver just in the back of it, gently, and then you're lifting upwards. And I don't know whether you can quite see that, but hopefully my verbal description of it is good enough. it flips up like a little flap, so it should be pointing upwards. So just enter it from the back and flip it up, and then that should be it. And then when you take these screws out, as I'll show you now, put them in a safe place. Right, as you'll see, as you pop this up, and then flip this over, it just pops out. Because again, you've relieved the clamping on this ribbon cable, and it literally just pops out. There's a little washer that's under here. Get the light on it. There we go. There's a little washer, and that may drop out as you pick it up. So just keep a track of that, because that needs to go with your analog stick there. We'll just put this somewhere safe. Okay, the next connectors that we're going to look at are these big ones here. These are exactly the same as the video connector, you know, the camera connectors, sorry. Much more clear to see. So if you imagine turning the console to the left, that's the sort of configuration that the camera one was in. So what we're going to do is, keeping the shoulder buttons away from you again, you're just going to put your screwdriver or fingernail, if you can get it under, or little plastic device, and you're just flipping these up. But I'm going to use my fingernail again because I feel more comfortable doing that. And it literally will just pop up. Don't know whether you can see it. Let's see if we can get a little bit of light. Ah, there we go. There we go. You can see that it's up, and you can wiggle it around. Don't wiggle it around. It's just, I'm showing you that that is up. There we go. So that's those two connectors out, and they're now free. Again, just make sure you don't touch any of these electrical components, especially the chips, because if you've got static electricity on your body, you are going to damage these chips. So, you know, just bear that in mind. Just touch what you need to touch, and that's that. Right. Okay, so the next pair of connectors we're going to look at, and I say a pair because these are very similar to the connector that the analog stick was using. So what we're going to do is, they're in a slightly different configuration, but a rule of thumb, if you just remember that the release catch on it, that the way you flip it up is from the opposite direction of the ribbon cable. So this one down here, if the ribbon cable is on this side at the bottom, then we know that we're going to be flipping it up from this side. So approaching it from this side, let's see if we can get can we get some more focus on that? You can just about see it there. Yeah, maybe about there will do. Okay, so you're just going to put the screwdriver in the back and flip it up. And if we can get the light right on it, you'll be able to see that it's popped up. You see? Standing upwards. So this one now, this little ribbon cable, this will be able to just pop straight out. Get the glare of the light off there, sorry. There we go, see? It's just pop straight out. And we're going to do the same for the one just to the right of this. So again, making sure that the shoulders are pointing away from you, you're just going to take your screwdriver and very gently just pop it underneath and flip upwards. And there we go, that's the next one done. And if you just carefully put the screwdriver underneath, I mean, you're being so gentle that you almost feel like you're going to drop the screwdriver. And then you see that's, if we can get the light on that as well, the other ribbon cable's just popped up there. Right, so that's those two connectors. Okay, so the next connector we're going to look at is this connector just here. Now this one's a little bit different from the last ones we've done, meaning that it's a little bit different from the connectors that are grey and black. The analog stick connector was one of these, and you've got the microphone connector just here and the touchscreen element connector there. And in those ones what we did was we lifted up the grey bit. Now this one, it is a bit different. This is for the home button, and what we're going to do in this one is we're going to lift up the black part. So even though it's got a grey bit on it, we do not want to be lifting up the grey bit, because if you do, you'll break it. So we're going to be lifting up the black part. But like the other buttons, the ribbon cable is facing this way, so we're going to want to open it from this side. So again, shoulder buttons away, get the screwdriver, and we're just going to approach it from this angle. So we're coming down from the top and just putting it just underneath the black bit at the back and flipping it up, and you'll be able to see that it's flipped up and all the tension and pressure is off of that connector and piece of ribbon cable now. And this is a little bit trickier, this one, so do be careful. Let's try and get some better light. There we go. And we're just going to slide it out of there, and as you can see, it's flipped up again, and that's that connector done. Okay, so that's it for the ribbon cables. So what we've got now is the screws on the main board and the screws on the top piece to take out. Now there's 12 screws on the main board, and I will proceed to show you where they are. So we've got one here, here, just underneath the SD slot. Well, two either side of the jack down here. You've got this piece of RF shielding here, and you've got one there, just above it here. You've got the volume switch and the analog stick, so you've got two here, and you've got the speaker just up here, and there's one next to that, and the other two are one either side of this blue piece of plastic. Now when you're taking these out, the ones either side of the top piece of blue plastic, they're actually a different size to the ones that are on your main board, so do make sure you put them to one side separate. You don't want to get them confused, because they're a little bit thinner and they're not quite as long, so you don't want them going into one of the holes that's there for the main board. But as I said before, when you're taking these out, take your time, make sure you've got the right size screwdriver, and put them in a layout where you know what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and take these apart. Just going to jump off camera to do it, because you know what taking screws out's like. So I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so I've taken all the screws out. Ignore the pieces of blue tack, they're just there to hide the serial numbers on the devices there. Okay, so you've taken all the screws out of this device. Now this whole main board is going to be loose now. What you want to be careful of is this piece of plastic falling off, and also your buttons underneath, your D-pad, your AB buttons. Also there's the sleep switch to be wary of, and there's also the Wi-Fi light and the power light as well. All the lights that are on the front of your DS, they've made of little clear frosted pieces of plastic, and they do so love to jump out of the front of the console. So anyway, wide hand, or if you've got this on a flat surface, which I highly suggest you do this on, we're just lifting this up just to free it up a little bit, and then we're going to come over to here, and then we're going to lift up the blue plastic. So we're lifting it up and taken it outwards, and you've just liberated the top piece of blue plastic there. So we'll put that down somewhere safe. The next thing you want to do is you want to free the, like in one of my other videos, we had a look at the black screen of death issue, which was caused by the Wi-Fi card. We want to go ahead and remove the actual antenna circuit board, which is this here. So if you just lift that up, that's freed from the front face now. And now you've loosened everything off and freed it up, you should be able to move it up a little bit more. And what you're going to have to look for now is the speaker. Now be very careful with this because these wires are incredibly delicate. That's on the speaker. Let's see if we can get some better light on it there. Yeah, they are very fine. They do come off. If they do come off, you know, and you've got some soldering skills, they do just solder back on. I've actually repaired a few of these for people already. People got a bit too curious and just went ahead and started taking things apart, which is why I decided to make some of these videos. Okay, so you literally put a screwdriver in just underneath very carefully, and then just prise it upwards, and you've loosened the speaker. So when you lift this off, ta-da! We've got some things that look a lot more familiar. So you've got your lovely peace symbols under there of the D-pad just here. You've got your amazingly enormous single screen, and you've got access to you know, the rubber bits and the light bits and stuff. Okay, so for the final piece to this tutorial, we're going to need to take out this screen if you're wanting to get to the touch screen. What I choose to use for this is a plastic removal tool. You can get these in all kinds of different shapes and sizes with different heads. This has just got a 45-degree angled spatula head that we're going to use for this, just so when you're using it, it gives you a little bit of leverage, you know, makes things a bit easier. So where I like to start is at the top, and if you just put it underneath, I'm not actually going to remove this screen on this video because you know, there's no need to remove it, and you know, it's not just nice to keep the seal there. Actually, I can't tip this upside down with all the bits raining all over the mat. But anyway, all you do is you put it in and you move it away from you. Again, this is the direction where your shoulder buttons are, and you gradually work your way along. Eventually this will just pop up towards you, and you'll be able to God, we're getting some horrible contrast on this, right? You know, it's gonna just pop up towards you, and then you'll be able to lift it off. Do turn it over and place it on its back. So place this side down, because you don't want any dust and other bits getting into the screen. I mean, you really do need a clean environment, you know, if you don't want dust and stuff getting on your screen. And right now, you know, the Hoover's just been on, so I don't really want to take this off at the moment. But you know, as you've seen in the other videos, I have, you know, this is what I've done. So that's it, and if you've made it this far, then well done, and thank you for watching. I think what we're going to do now is, I've just realised we've not opened the advent calendar for today, so let's see. We're on the 4th. Yeah, Ninja Mutant Turtles, woo! Okay, so let's see where we can find the 4th. Where's it gonna be? Aha! Up here. We've got it here. What's it gonna be? What could it possibly be? Ah, round thing. Very, very turtley. Let's see what this turtley round thing is. Here, round thing. Okay, so it is. It's a typically turtlesque Christmas pudding. A bird's eye view from above. I can guarantee it won't taste like Christmas pudding, and I'm pretty certain the turtles had nothing to do with this. So anyway, I'm gonna eat this, and goodbye. Nom 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 nom.